She steps onto the biggest hard courts in the world, and this time, she's not the underdog nobody sees coming. She's ranked inside the top 31, she's beaten a top 10 star, and now she's walking straight into a battlefield loaded with Grand Slam champions. This is not just another tournament for Eala. This is Indian Wells. And if you think she's just there to participate, you might be underestimating what's about to happen. Because this draw, it's not just stacked, it's brutal. After more than 2 weeks away from competition, Eala is finally diving back into action at the WTA 1000 Indian Wells Open in California, running from March 4th to 15th. They call this event the 5th Grand Slam, and that nickname isn't given lightly. The prize pool alone sits at over $9 million. The prestige? Massive. The pressure? Even bigger. And the names waiting there? Aryna Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, Elena Rybakina, Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula, Mirra Andreeva. This isn't a warm-up event. This is the Lion's Den. But here's what makes this fascinating. Eala is not arriving as a wide-eyed teenager anymore. She's arriving as a top 31 player in the world. That changes everything. Let's rewind just a little. Earlier this year, Eala had a packed schedule. She battled through the Middle East swing, grinding through matches against elite competition. There were long rallies, physical exchanges, mental tests. She wasn't just participating, she was proving she belongs. Then came that statement win in Dubai. Jasmine Paolini, top 10, aggressive, fiery, experienced, and Eala didn't blink. She took her down in the round of 16 at the Dubai Tennis Championships in a performance that felt like a message. Not luck, not a fluke, a message. She ultimately lost to Coco Gauff in the quarterfinals, but even that match told us something important. She can trade blows with the very best. She's not overwhelmed by the spotlight anymore. Now she's had more than 2 weeks to rest, and rest, in professional tennis, is underrated. Recovery means clarity. Recovery means reset. Recovery means preparation. During her break, she wasn't just hiding away. She spent time in Oregon and visited the Nike World headquarters, where her own career highlights were displayed. Think about that for a second. A 20-year-old Filipina standing inside Nike headquarters, seeing portraits of her journey alongside global icons. That does something to you mentally, but reminds you that you're not just chasing the dream anymore. You're part of the brand, part of the global conversation. But here's the twist. Indian Wells is not sentimental. It's not nostalgic. It's ruthless. And the defending champion? Mirra Andreeva. The Russian teenager shocked the tennis world last year by beating Aryna Sabalenka in the final. That wasn't just an upset. It was a statement about the next generation taking over. Now imagine this potential storyline. Andreeva defending her crown, Sabalenka hunting revenge, Swiatek wanting control, Gauff playing on American soil, and Eala entering that same arena with momentum and confidence. You see how explosive this could get? The draw hasn't been revealed yet, and that's where the curiosity kicks in. Who does Eala face first? Does she get a seeded player immediately? Does she get a winnable opening round to build rhythm? Or does she walk straight into a heavyweight clash? Because let's be honest, matchups matter. But something tells me Eala isn't afraid of a big name anymore. The biggest transformation in her game over the last year hasn't been technical. It's psychological. She used to look like she was proving she belonged. Now she looks like she expects to belong. That subtle shift? It changes outcomes. Indian Wells, patience is everything. The courts are slower than your typical hard court. Rallies stretch. Points become chess matches. Physical endurance becomes critical. And here's where Eala's left-handed game becomes interesting. That 5'9" lefty angle opens the court differently. It disrupts rhythm. Against right-handed players, which most of the field are, that wide serve on the ad side becomes a weapon. But weapons only matter if the belief is there. And I think it is. Let's talk about the elite she's stepping into. Aryna Sabalenka. World number 1. Power. Intensity. A player who can hit through anyone when she's locked in. Iga Swiatek. Clinical. Disciplined. Tactical precision. Elena Rybakina. Clean ball striker. Calm under pressure. Coco Gauff. Explosive speed. Emotional fire. And she already knows what it's like to face Eala, Jessica Pegula, consistent, smart, relentless. And Mirra Andreeva, fearless youth, with nothing to lose. That's the battlefield. But here's something people might overlook. Eala thrives when underestimated. When she beat Paolini, many thought it would be a routine win for the Italian. It wasn't. When she made her breakthrough last year in Miami, it caught people off guard. And speaking of Miami, that's looming right after Indian Wells, March 17th to 29. The same tournament that gave her a massive spotlight last year. So Indian Wells isn't just about points and prize money. It's about momentum. It's about sharpening the sword before another major stage. If she strings together wins here, even 2 or 3 rounds, the confidence heading into Miami could be enormous. And confidence in tennis is everything. Now let me be clear. I'm not saying she's suddenly the favorite. That would be unrealistic. But what I am saying is this. She's no longer just a promising story. She's a legitimate threat on the right day. And the scary part for the top players? She's still improving data to 20 years old. She's building layers, physically stronger, tactically smarter, emotionally steadier. There's a maturity in how she constructs points now. She doesn't rush the trigger unnecessarily. She waits. She probes. She looks for the right ball. Indian Wells rewards that patience. But here's where I want to open a curiosity gap. There's one factor that could determine whether Eala makes a deep run, and it's not her forehand. It's scheduling. The top seeds often get byes. That means Eala could face someone matched tough in round 1, while others are still adjusting. That early rhythm can be a hidden advantage. If she finds your groove early, the pressure flips. Suddenly, the higher seed across the net feels the tension, and that's when upsets happen. Let's also talk about the mental edge she might carry from Dubai. Beating a top 10 player changes how others scout you. They don't dismiss you anymore. They study you. And when they study you, that means they respect you. Respect changes dynamics. Now here's the honest part. There will be moments in Indian Wells where she's tested brutally. Long rallies, momentum swings, maybe even a crowd leaning toward an American player. How she handles those moments will define this tournament for her. But if there's one thing we've seen from Eala lately, it's composure. She doesn't unravel easily, and that composure could be her biggest weapon in the desert. We also can't ignore the symbolic side. A Filipina athlete competing on one of tennis's biggest stages, consistently breaking new ground. Representation matters. Pressure comes with that. Expectations grow. But she's carrying it with remarkable balance. Now let's address something clearly labeled as speculation. There's quiet chatter among fans, not confirmed, purely fan conversation, that Eala is targeting a top 20 breakthrough this season. That's not an official statement, just what supporters are hoping and projecting. Is it realistic? If she performs well in both Indian Wells and Miami, absolutely. Ranking jumps at this stage aren't impossible. And if she pulls off one headline win at Indian Wells, the conversation changes overnight. That's the beauty of WTA 1000 events. One magical week can redefine your season. And remember that $94 million prize pool. Beyond prestige, these tournaments impact careers financially. Deep runs fund teams, training blocks, travel, stability. So yes, this is a massive opportunity. But I keep coming back to something simple. She's walking in rested. Not exhausted, not rushed, rested. That could matter more than people realize. Because when you're fresh at Indian Wells, you can grind. You can endure those 2-hour battles without your legs fading in the 3rd set. And if she's physically sharp, watch out. Now imagine this scenario. 3rd round, night session, packed stadium. Eala across the net from a top 5 player, score tight, crowd buzzing. And she's not intimidated. If that moment arrives, that's where we'll truly see how far she's come. So here's the question I want you thinking about while we wait for the draw. Is Eala ready to stop being the surprise and start being the problem? Because there's a difference. A surprise win shocks once. A problem keeps elite players awake at night. Indian Wells might give us that answer. And once that draw drops, everything becomes real. One matchup could open the door. One matchup could slam it shut. But either way, She's earned her spot in that main draw, and that alone tells you how far she's come. Now I want to hear from you. If Eala gets drawn against a top 5 player in her opening match, does she go for broke aggressively, or does she play the long tactical game and trust her patience? Drop your take in the comments. I want to see real tennis minds debating this, because Indian Wells is coming fast. The desert is waiting, the elite are locked in, and Alex Eala is walking straight into the fire. This isn't just participation anymore, this is positioning, this is growth, this is a potential turning point, and if she capitalizes on it, the entire WTA tour will have to adjust. We've seen glimpses. Now we're about to see the test. Indian Wells doesn't hand out fairy tales that exposes weaknesses, but it also crowns belief. And right now, Alex Eala looks like a player who believes